And we're back. All right, let's get into the top gaming news of the last 3-4 weeks, last month.
Yep.
Since we've been going. We have to start. This is huge news. The biggest news that came out in the last month. Sony has sold 17.3 million PS5 units, outselling the Wii U.
There it is, folks. He did it. He just had to squeeze that fact in that the PS5 has outsold the Wii U.
In its first year.
Okay.
That's impressive. 17 million units.
All right. So I'm going to...
You didn't know I was going to do that. You didn't know.
I didn't know you were going to do that. I knew that was in the news. Okay, look. The Wii U, not a terribly successful console for whatever it is. Underrated. Me and Dan both agree. It's a very underrated console. There's some good games on there for sure. Mostly Nintendo stuff. But I'm not gonna poo-poo this for Sony, because even during a pandemic, they were able to, even during the chip shortage, they were able to produce enough units. Obviously, they're going to sell because demand is high, but they were able to produce enough units to beat out the total lifetime sales, right, of the Wii U.
Yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay. But that's not really the biggest news. What's really the biggest news?
It's still about Sony, though. It's still connected to Sony.
Of course.
So the last episode that we talked about Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard for 70-something billion dollars, biggest number and biggest acquisition in video game history, and nothing's probably going to beat that unless Apple swoops in and buys everybody, because they probably can.
Yeah.
Sony has bought Bungie for $3.6 billion.
There you go.
Right? That's crazy. Right? So, I mean, think about it. Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard for $68.7 billion.
Right. Rounded up to 69. Yeah.
Take two. Man, look at you. Look at
I'm just saying 69's it's a very nice number. That's all.
Yeah. Let's not round it. Let's not add.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not trying to say Microsoft's got big coffers. It's just a nice number. That's all. It's a nice number.
You know what else is a nice number? Take Two buying Zynga for $12.7 billion. Oh, should we just say 12 point? Should we say 13 billion?
No, 13 is not a meme number. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. I'm just saying 13.
But we can round up to 13 to make it even. 13
billion.
Yeah. Sure.
So the reason why they did this is because Sony really wants to get into live action games, right? And they're not buying Bungie for Destiny per se. They're buying Bungie for the talent, right? They have the talent for the most part, they have the talent.
Yeah, 100%. They are a very talented team. Bungie's tight. Destiny 2, fantastic games. I mean, they're going to make a Destiny 3. They're going to still put more content out for Destiny 2 for sure, but
and they're staying independent and making multi-platform games.
Right.
So, Destiny is not leaving Xbox, right?
Well, I think it's also wild that Activision Blizzard let Bungie go and they let Destiny go, because they made Destiny while under the Activision Blizzard umbrella. You would figure their contracts and whatever else they put together would say, we own the IP, but you're free to go. Well, right? Well, that didn't happen.
You know what? That's an interesting point, but let's look at Bungie's history, right? This is the second time Bungie has been bought, right? Microsoft acquired them in June of 2000, right? And then
for the Halo,
Bungie would remain independent, right? They would regain its independence after the launch of Halo 3 in October of 2007.
Yep.
So they lost the IP Halo, but they were able to leave and do something else, right? So they probably learned that from the time being, acquired by Microsoft. So when they, made a deal with Activision Blizzard, it was the IP is Bungie's IP, not Activision Blizzard's IP.
Shrewdest move they could have ever done. Probably one of the best business moves I would love to see how that went down in the boardroom. You know,
So
just like
Sony.
amazing.
So I imagine what their deal with Sony is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's say 2000 in what is 2022, right? So let's say 10 years.
It is
2000. Let's say 8 years, 2030, right? They're gonna go.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna leave Sony, right? Somehow they have a loophole to get out of being acquired by Sony, and then Nintendo is gonna acquire them to do some live action Metroid games.
just to go and bring it full circle.
Full circle, right? So Sony's planning to release 10 live service games by 2026, right? So I don't know if that counts Destiny, right? Or Destiny 3, right? Are they going to use some other IP? I mean, I would love for Resistance. Maybe Bungie can bring back Resistance and they can make that into sort of like a live service game. Now, my only apprehension with that would be they want to make games multi-platform, and Resistance is a Sony IP that's exclusive to Sony.
Well,
so would they make that a multiplayer game? A
multi-platform game?
Platform game?
No.
Right.
Resistance? No way.
Yeah.
I don't. It's always been on PlayStation, right? Why would you do that? Why would you take like Killzone and make that? That's another property they could totally work on. I hope they would make a new Killzone game too. I don't see. I mean, Sony's saying they're independent, but or at least the story goes that they're still going to be independent. But Sony at the end of the day has say on hey, look, we want you to work on this thing. I guess maybe Bungie has right of first refusal to say, well, we want to work on something else and not this game, right? Maybe there's boardroom talks and all that, but Sony's going to make the stipulation that, we want you to work on this game, but it's going to be PlayStation exclusive, right?
So maybe they say, Destiny can stay multi-platform, and anything you come up with can stay multi-platform with obviously Sony exclusive content, right? Just like I think Call of Duty, Call of Duty will have. Well, it's funny because Call of Duty is owned by Microsoft as of next year, not right now, and they will still come to Sony platforms for the next 3 years. That's contractually obligated,
right?
And have Sony exclusive marketing and probably content,
because that's also contractually obligated.
But it's owned by Microsoft. That's just wild. But when that's over, I still think Call of Duty will come out on PlayStation platforms, right? And maybe Nintendo platforms, because there's talk about bringing Call of Duty to the Switch.
Sure.
Right? First Call of Duty since the Wii U.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that go. I've seen all that stuff go both ways, or I've seen arguments on both sides to keep it console specific and to not keep it console specific. There's benefits to both.
$70 billion. They want to make that money back. They want to make that investment.
Right.
It's the best selling game every year, Call of Duty, and it's not because it's on one platform.
I mean, I still think at the end of the day that Microsoft wants to move away from the actual consoles and make their Games Pass and their xCloud the thing. So they're just buying up all of the content, and they're going to become the Netflix of video gaming, right? Or what Netflix was maybe 10 years ago. They were the game in town. There were competitors, but nobody could hold a candle to what Netflix had. They had everything. You just go to Netflix, and there it was. And I think Microsoft wants to be that. So eventually, I think they're going to broker a deal to say, hey, Sony, let's make a Game Pass app for your console, and then your fans can play all the stuff that we own. And there it is.
Well, Microsoft, there's talks that Microsoft wants to have a universal store that can go anywhere, right? So we're talking in the future.
Sure. Sure.
So, all right. Sony buying Bungie, not a reaction to Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard. They've actually been in talks since the summer, apparently, according to reports. So this is something that's been, the last 6, 7, 8 months. They've been in negotiations, and it's all because Sony wants to really, they have. It's funny if you think about it. So Sony has the single player experience down pat right now, right?
Sure.
They want. What's their one weakness? right? What's their major weakness? Their hole in the portfolio, live service, right?
There's no multiplayer, no good multiplayer, and no good live service multiplayer. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like specific to their console. Yeah.
And then Microsoft is the opposite, right? Like they didn't have any real single player experiences, and then they go out and buy Bethesda. They go out and buy
the single player company. Yep.
Yeah. So it's they're gearing up. They're gearing up, and I kind of like it.